Okay. So I shall start now. A very pleased good morning to one and all who have joined. Before starting, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here on Sunday morning with us today. To begin, allow me to introduce myself. I, Shazia Sheikh, Project Manager at PharmaState Academy, will be your host for the webinar. Going forward, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for a long time now, as well as those who are new to the learning and development sessions at PharmaState Academy. Well, I don't want to take much of your time. I now welcome speakers for the webinar. Let us give Chinmay Mitra sir a hearty round of applause. Is there anyone in the pharma world in India who doesn't know Chinmay Mitra sir? He is the managing director of MARC, the pioneers of prescription research. He is a futurist-looking personality. Through MARC, he has changed the scene of brand management and marketing management in India. He abhors transactional marketing and is of the view that is through science alone, pharma companies can build brands. Not just a great pharma leader, he has also been a phenomenal soccer player during his school days and truly believes to develop his teamwork and time discipline skills through the respective sport. Today, you will hear from Chinmay sir about the first book of management sciences, which was introduced to the world somewhere around 3000 BC, which was approx 5000 years back. Through his melodious voice, you will hear how the lessons from this book can be applied in pharma sales and marketing, along with our personal lives. As we love what we do, every day is wonderful. He lives by this motto and encourages others to do so as well. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Vivek Hattangadi sir. Sir needs no introduction, as many of you are already acquainted with him. He's a chief mentor at PharmaState Academy, a well-known pharma industry veteran who have been involved in the industry for over 48 years now. A mentor to many B school students and greenhorn brand managers in the pharma industry. Before I hand over to Chinmay sir, may I request Vivek Hattangadi sir to say a few words to the audience on the respective topic of the webinar.
Well, good morning, everyone. Have you heard the word Guru Bandhu? And to me, Chinmay is my Guru Bandhu because his father, late Professor Chinmay Mitra, was my Guru. And whatever I am today, I am because of him and, of course, Dr. Professor Taurendra Gupta. The first book on management we are talking about is purely on management. It has no other strings attached to that. It's purely a book on management, and the book written, as Shazia said, about 5000 years ago, has not gone any revision. It's not gone any revision. It is intact as it was 5000 years back. Remember, my friends, this is a book on management sciences. Many of you have guessed what is that book, but I will leave this to Professor Chinmay Mitra to tell us more about this book. Over to Shazia back.
I would not take much of anybody's time now. Everybody is curious enough for the webinar and Chinmay Mitra sir presentation as well. So over to you, Chinmay sir.
Thank you, Shazia. The screen is visible?
Yeah. Not yet. The screen is not yet visible.
Yet.
Not visible?
Sir, have you started sharing presentation?
Yeah.
So share screen.
It's not visible. What happened? Yes.
Chinmay, please go back to Zoom screen and click on share screen button.
Just 1 second. Zoom. Which one to?
Share screen, Zoom screen. Are you able to see the Zoom?
The one in green. It's a green color.
No, I'm connected now.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
yes.
connected.
But then why it is?
Which screen you are seeing, Chinmay? Let me know.
Then share screen. I should
Yes.
press.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Now it is coming.
No, not yet.
Not yet, sir.
Now it is started.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is now coming.
Now it is.
Yeah.
So excellent. Already, Vivek, you have explained about the book. So I believe many of us could assume. So please send that in chat box. What do you think about this book? Can you guess? And I believe most of us could guess the book. So please send and then.
Yeah, please write on your chat box what is the name of the book which you have in mind and what you have perceived.
Absolutely. Fine.
We are looking for your response on the chat.
Yes. Let's go ahead. Then what we get from this book, in fact, this is an organization manual. In MARC, we consider this our manual. So we need not to spend much time or for developing the manual for our organization for last 42 years, right? And we believe this is a perfect guide to a happy and prosperous life. And it enlightened us on who we are, the purpose of our life. And another interesting part is how we should live our lives, both internal, that means at home, and how we should act in the world, that is external. Beautifully, written in this book. Can you guess? So let me now expose.
Many have guessed correctly. 3 cheers to all those who have guessed correctly.
Excellent. And let's see what is that. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Absolutely, to us, it's a pure book of management, right? And why we will explain in another 20 minutes, right? So first, let us see what is Bhagavad-Gita. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Srimad means like professor, doctor, as we said. So Srimad, like Srimad Adi Shankaracharya. Like we said, Sri, Mr., Doctor, right? Preface. And what is the meaning of Bhagavad? Adorable, divine, glorious, holy, illustrious, right? And Gita, the word came from Geet, Sangeet, so song. So it's a beautiful song of life, divine song, glorious song, whatever we say. And this book has 18 chapters, 700 statement or words, whatever you say. And author, traditionally, we know Vedas, Vyasdev, language Sanskrit, the most perfect language of the universe. So we can have another session on that, why it is the most perfect language of the universe, right? And the rhymes, chandas, is anushtup. Most of the 80%, 90% out of the 700 slokas or verse are in this anushtup chandas, right? Next, what is the content of this book? We know many of us are familiar. It's a dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, right? So Krishna here, the person having full of wisdom, that's get transformed to Arjuna. A motivational speech in today's management, it's a motivational speech to a dejected person, Arjuna, to motivate him, right? And this happened in Kurukshetra. The place was Kurukshetra and in the epic Mahabharata, right? Although Srimad Bhagavad-Gita is set in the context of war epic, but the narrative is structured to apply in our personal and professional life. And that's why we consider this is the most perfect book in management. And that's why there is no revised edition.
Can I add something here, Chinmay?
Please.
When we are talking about a dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, it's basically a question and answer session. Arjuna has asked so many questions to Lord Krishna, and he answers it in the form of shlokas. Many years back, when I was in school, way back in 1966, Sir Frank Abreu, he was my teacher in English. And he taught me a very beautiful quote. Curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed the cat. But in today's age, especially for brand managers and sales manager, curiosity is not going to kill anyone. On the other hand, curiosity is adding to your learning. And this is what these are the kind of questions which Arjun has been asking to Lord Krishna to enlighten him. So, curiosity is something which everybody should develop. Some of you may remember, even Shazia may remember, when you were a small child of say around 5 years or 6 years or maybe 3 years or 4 years, you held your mother's hand or father's hand and went into the garden to walk. And then you ask questions like, why the sky blue and not red? Why the grass green and not orange? Friends, these are not stupid questions. These are not stupid questions. They are all learning questions. Young children have curiosity. And my submission to everyone, whether you're 50, whether you're 60, whether you're 20, you should all develop that curiosity. In fact, in one of the articles in Harvard Business Review, I think it was Professor Friedman, Thomas Friedman. He talks about curiosity quotient. The curiosity quotient of Arjun was very, very, very high, and is at the high curiosity quotient of Arjun, which became Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Over to you, Chinmay Mitra, once again.
Yeah. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for adding excellent values. Now, what is the structure of Bhagavad-Gita? Right? And what we are going to discuss today, because it's not possible in this 10-15 minutes to discuss all these 700 verses, but we have picked up one very interesting verse, and that we are going to discuss in next 15 minutes, right? And this is from Syncope, chapter 2. In English, it is the eternal reality. And in this chapter, you have 75 verses, right? And if you see whole Bhagavad-Gita, since we are in statistics, the first slok came from, there are 4 participants in this conversation. Dhritarashtra, the first statement came from, and that was the only statement from Dhritarashtra. Dharmakhetre Kurukhetre Samaveta Yudhutsava Mamaka Pandavaschiva 𝘭𝑰𝑚 Sanjaya. So he asked the commentator Sanjaya to narrate what is happening in that Kurukshetra, that place between his family member, that means his son, and Pandava's son, what they are doing. And then Sanjay started. And if you see in the first chapter, there is no dialogue, no response from Sri Krishna. Later on, he explained, right? So, and overall, if you see 700 as 100, 82% statement from Lord Sri Krishna, the intellectual master, the person having all the wisdom. And 12% from Arjuna, 84 means 12% of 700. And 6% the commentator, right? And 1 is negligible out of 700, right? With that, so Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 2, that is Syncope, the eternal reality, right? See, in this chapter, Sri Krishna gives a logical analysis of the self. Sankha means enumeration, sequential counting, and evolution of an investigation and analysis of reality. This is the most important chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, as Sri Krishna condensed the message of the entire Gita in this chapter. So in one statement, this chapter is the essence of entire Gita, and then subsequently he elaborates. So it's a great learning how to communicate, how to deliver your message. First, give the gist and then explain, right? Next. So chapter 2, today we are going to discuss work culture. See, 5,000 years back, and today there is no revised edition. So what was true 5,000 years back, even today, we can implement that and get best of it. So apart from that, what are the other lessons we get from this chapter? And see, we are facing this in our day-to-day life. So we said we are in 𝘱𝘳𝘁𝘍𝑚, and Bhagavad-Gita shows how to come out from the 𝘱𝘳𝘁𝑚. I think we know what is 𝘱𝘳𝘁𝑚. So depression. Today, the highest selling drug in depression, and day by day, we know how this market is growing, right? Next is confusion. Depression leads to confusion, then mortal, immortal, then grief, then realization, work culture, attachment and detachment, temptation, anger, and finally rejoice. So if you want to rejoice all of our life, we should control, because this we cannot get rid of. This is all part and parcel of our life. So how to manage it? And that is why the management, and that is why Bhagavad-Gita is the best management book of the universe. And we have adopted this as our manual, both in our private and professional life, right? And this, see, in 1978, this postage stamp 25 paise was published by the then temporary our Prime Minister, Sri Morarji Desai. And the statement we are going to discuss today, next 15 minutes, कर्मण्य वधिकरस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फलर हेतुर्भु माते संगस्त कर्मणि. So what is the meaning of this line? Excellent, you know. कर्मण्य वधिकरस्ते, commitment to work is important. We consider myself or ourselves when we visit, because our discussion is based on the medical practitioners, right? Pharmaceuticals. So we'll give example on that only. So commitment to work is important. Desired result is secondary. That doesn't mean that we should not be result oriented. Obviously, we all are result oriented. But if we are sincere and committed, achievement is assured. Let us remember that we have miles to go before we sleep. So
exactly, Chinmay, because many times, because I've heard this many times on the, when the Mahabharata was screened about 2 years back during COVID time, and people are misunderstanding this word. Okay, commitment to work is important. That is the desired result is secondary, which means achieving targets is not at all important. No, listen carefully to what Chinmay sir has just said.
It is actually Bhagavad-Gita. We are just, narrating or explaining it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So it was there.
Commitment to work and working in the right direction, as Chinmay sir has rightly said, that will result into meeting your targets, your goals, your objectives. So don't mistake this sentence for targets are not important, goals are not important, or aims are not important. No, that is not.
Right. Right. So what we get, chapter 2, take home. Let's come to straight to the take home message, right? So how to implement our learning from Bhagavad-Gita, from that sloka, karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalar heturvhu mate sangast karmani. So what this reflect, and how we can implement this in pharma marketing, right? So while promoting our brand to a medical practitioners, let us implement the first, let us select 5 target audience. That means 5 medical practitioners. Why 5? So see, when we set our target audience, 100, previously so it was every day 10 doctors, means we have to meet 10 doctors for medical representative. The target was to meet 10 doctors per day. If there is 26 or 22 working days, so it's more than 200. Nowadays, we have reduced it on obvious reason. Maybe some doctors we have to visit twice in a month. So depending on the potential of the product, since we are slowly and gradually, we are getting very focused, right? So out of that, our total target audience, obviously it's around 100 or more than 100, only 6, because this is an experiment, right? So let us select 5 medical practitioners from our total target audience. Next, let us select a couple of relevant brands for promotion to those 5 medical practitioners. So what are those 5 brands? If our product basket is mainly for dermatological products, then obviously dermatologist, if I have a chronic basket, like, lifestyle management, like diabetes, cardio-CV drugs, so then obviously cardiologist or diabetologist, so relevant. If it is ophthalmic product basket, then ophthalmologist. If it is dental preparation, then dentist. Like that, select first the target audience and couple of relevant product for those target audience. Number 3, this is first 2 steps. Third step, acquire, develop adequate knowledge of the brands, of those 2 brands. So we should, now the question is whether we'll get time to explain all that knowledge. No, but on the back of our mind, we should have total knowledge about those brands. Couple of brands that we have selected. Each and every brand, we should be thorough. Next, implement promotional strategy with conviction. First of all, we should sell that to us. We are 100% confident. Whenever, if that indication, so indicating the indication, sign and symptoms without condemning the competitors, highlight side effects. So we should be thorough about side effects, about sign and symptoms of the product that we are going to promote, right? Next is demand prescription ensuring relief from the said indication. We asked doctor that, doctor, please prescribe, but where to prescribe? So we have to repeat whatever 1 minute, 2 minutes time we get. Indication first and followed by the brand, right? Next. Yeah, now it's up to Vivek. Next 2 point, that let us ensure 100% ethical promotion and never adopt any transactional marketing strategy. Vivek, please elaborate.
In fact, I would like to elaborate a bit on point number 4, where you have said, highlight side effects of the brand. In pharma promotion, we normally try to suppress the side effects. But I still remember in 1990, when I had introduced a drug called prazosin, when I was in Sun Pharma, it had a very peculiar side effect. It was a drug for hypertension as well as BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy. It had a peculiar side effect. First dose syncope. When you're talking about first dose syncope, it means there's a sudden fall in the blood pressure and the patient may even collapse. That happened only during the first dose and not in the second or the subsequent dose. It only happened in the first dose, and therefore it was also called, in scientific language, it was called as first dose syncope. When we launched prazosin, when we launched Prazopres to the doctors, we told the field staff, after you finish your detailing of Prazopres, please do not forget to mention about this side effect. There was great opposition from 𝘱𝘳𝘢𝘐𝑵𝑉 on this. But I said, if you highlight the side effect, the credibility not only of Prazopres, but the credibility even of Sun Pharma will increase. Maybe prazosin did not become a great brand, but by highlighting the side effects, the credibility of Sun Pharma as a science-based organization, it soared high. And that had a fall-off effect, a rub-off effect on the other brands. Monotrate went on to become a brand leader. It became the strongest brand in the cardiology in that nitrate section those days. Coming to the next point, we are talking about ethical promotion and never adopt any transactional marketing. My God, this is a very, very powerful sentence. And this is a sentence which has always been propagated by my guru, Professor Chinmay Mitra. He was dead against transactional marketing. And that is the reason why last year around this time, some of you would have attended that session on H2H marketing. What is H2H marketing? H2H marketing also has the essence of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. When you talk about patient-centric marketing in that book, H2H marketing, patient-centric marketing is an natural outgrowth of H2H marketing. And as we have rightly said, Chinmay rightly said, that the moment the focus is on patient, the outcome of the patient, the health outcome of the patient, transaction stops. If you don't focus on the health outcome of the patient, and we focus only on brand promotion, brand sales, transactional marketing is bound to increase. Therefore, the next model of marketing is going to be patient-centric marketing, which is a natural outgrowth of H2H marketing, about which we had talked a lot last year, and we'll continue to talk on that. Thank you, Chinmay. Sorry for the interruption.
No, absolutely. You are 100%, we are, and this is a joint presentation.
And friends, whatever questions you want, please put it on the chat box. Our session is going to be very short.
Vivek sir,
We have always been, people have always been complaining that we do not get much time for question and answers. This time, we are going to give plenty of time for question and answers, which you can write on the chat box, or maybe a little later come directly in contact with Chinmay sir. Yes, Swati, you were saying something?
yes, sir. There's a direct question from Mr. Praveen Vurkud on the story that you told. Was the side effect communicated directly to the doctors?
Yeah. Not only directly, but in our promotional material.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, Vivek sir.
Dr. Shati, it looks it's not moving. The 7 point is not coming. It's got hanged or something. So, could you take the control and move?
Just a second.
Because somehow it's hanged.
Chinmay, can you press escape button?
I'm pressing, but it's not working. Then should I stop sharing or what? Your screen
sir, you will have to restart sharing. Means just stop share and then restart the share. Against share screen.
Okay. So we were in this slide,
yes.
Right? Right. So the 7th point. So 7 take-home points. Let patient relief welfare be the key issue.
Absolutely. This is exactly what H2H marketing which they have borrowed from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Absolutely.
Yes. Right. Next. So once again, Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 2, verse number 47, slok number 47. Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karmarphala heturvhu mate sangasta karmani. That means commitment to work is important. Repeatedly, we are saying this. It's from Bhagavad-Gita. It's we have you can say we have discovered this, not invention. It's a discover. The desired result is secondary. That doesn't indicate that we are not result oriented. If we are sincere and committed, achievement is assured. Right now, again from Bhagavad-Gita, there are 3 types of action. Sattva, Raja, Tama. Right, as we said. So in reverse direction, no action. And second line, in fact, explaining that because of all this confusion, Arjun was dejected and he was not at all motivated to do, the war. So he decided not to fight, right? So that's why Bhagavan Sri Krishna said that don't do that to him. So that's another karma. Not doing anything, that is also a part of work, right? And the second one, the rajas means desire. Say, suppose as a medical representative, when we start from the home, that month end, and I have far behind target, right? So to my mind today, anyhow, I have to generate a sale of say 1 lakh rupees. I have a few more days, 4 more days, or just 1 week, right? So, but if we have always this in my mind from the morning, will we be able to achieve result? Other than that, if we adopt that today, I have an opportunity to meet 10, 15 medical practitioners. So how about my brand? As we have discussed so far, if we adopt that strategy, previous slide, as we have discussed, right? Action with commitment without attachment. So if we leave aside that 1 lakh or 50,000 or 2 lakhs, whatever, I'm short of target last week of the month, if I focus more on my communication, then what will happen, right? As professor used to say, putting the cart before the horse, right?
Can I say something on point number 2? Can you take the slide a little back? Desire-driven action for results. Unfortunately, what is happening in the pharma industry today, there's a lot of emphasis on the wrong things. When I say emphasis on the wrong things, for example, the emphasis is how many calls you have made. The quality of the calls is never being analyzed in sales review meeting. Have you met all the doctors? These are the number of missed doctors. These are the number of KOLs I have missed. But nobody ever talks about the quality of the call. Nobody ever talks whether the strategy has been implemented. So when we are driving for action, sales review meetings should have all these points to be covered. Desire-driven action for results comes from not numbers, from the quality of work which you put in a doctor's chamber, the quality of questions which you ask to a retailer to get market feedback. Today, I've seen even in companies like Cipla, which was once known for spending a lot of time with retailers. Only last week I saw a Cipla medical representative at a chemist who finished his chemist call in less than a minute, less than half a minute. So the desired action for results is, my target is today is not changing the number of doctors to buy prescriptions for my brand, but how many calls should I make? How many chemist calls should I make? How many doctor calls? That is not going to give results. That is not desire-driven action for results. That is my take. And if I'm wrong somewhere, please correct me.
Absolutely correct, Vivek. In fact, a lot of organizations provided their call list to us. We have seen in the call list, one day 50 doctors. In fact, I extensively work in the field, and my record in Jaipur, long back, 30 years back, one day I recruited 15 doctors. That was my achievement, highest achievement in a day. So, and I worked from morning till late 11 o'clock. That's a different story all put together. Then how this, and that statement is, initially I thought that statement is wrong, exaggerated. Then I talked to that person. What he did in hospital, there are a lot of hospitals, there are conference rooms. So he addressed 50 doctors in 5 minutes. In 50 doctors, all juniors, and they allot half an hour. And if there are 20, 30 medical representatives, they get 2 minute time to address those doctors. And doctors, they are chit-chatting all these things, and they are, giving, demonstrating the brand. Some hardly 4-5% or say 10-20% listening. Others are doing their job. So he is keeping the record. He head count. There are 50 doctors. So, and that 2 minutes time, he complete his days. So that way he, visited, as you said, the quality of call. So in the common room, he addressed 50 doctors in 2 minutes time. So statement wise is 100% correct. There is no exaggeration. But
and
as
how
said,
can you really create relations with a retailer, which is so important today, if you don't even spend time with him? They would like to go at the time which is convenient to me, not convenient to the retailer. I think that is what we should avoid for desire-driven action for results.
absolutely.
It's a very beautiful point from the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Thank you very much, Chinmay sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek. Now let us remember, it is a noble profession. I'm not elaborating, even since I have an extensive, coverage from Kerala to Amritsar, visited more than 5,000 doctors in my medical practitioners in my tenure of profession. So many a time doctor said, nowadays it is no more a noble profession. I said, sorry, if you say this, then who is responsible?
Absolutely.
Right.
Sure.
So I personally feel it's a noble profession, and otherwise why we are wasting our time?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So that's why again Bhagavad-Gita, purpose of life. Right.
Can we just go back to the earlier slide?
Uh-huh.
And Shazia, can you let the audience in here for a minute? I would like to have the audience opinion, live audience opinion on this statement. Is it a noble profession or not a noble profession? I'd like 2 or 3 people to come and say a few words here.
Sure.
So if you please raise your hand and
Yeah, there are 2 participants who have raised their hand. Please ask them.
Sir, I am Prabhu.
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Can I speak, sir?
Yes, yeah. Speak.
Yes, sir. I 100%.
Speak on the subject of whether it is a noble profession or not a noble profession. Okay, Abhishek.
It's a noble profession. There is no doubt at all in that, because most of the medical representatives, they may not be planning to become a medical representative, but once they enter into this only, then they will understand the essence of this profession. And this is a evergreen profession, and every day is a new day and learning profession. And I really enjoy this. Actually, this was not my first choice of profession. I was into a production chemist.
Okay.
When I entered into this only, then I saw that what is the scale of this profession.
Great.
I have a 20 years of experience in this profession.
Great.
I really love this profession. It's a noble, because we reach many people, and sometimes my own family members, when they are with some ailments, and as a medical representative, I know some doctors, I gain a lot of knowledge from them, and I'll be able to clarify their doubts. I feel that if I'm not in this profession, then I would have also been like one more spectator listening to what is happening.
Absolutely. Anjan Kumar Sahu has raised his hand. So I would request Anjan Kumar Sahu to comment.
Thanks, Vivek and Professor Mitra. I relate 2 things here. One is doctors, another is the medical representatives. Just look at the human life. When we are in problem, where do we go first? We go to the temple first and pray before God and don't get any results. And the second, when we don't get any results, then we come back to our parents, where I consider parents are our second God, where the parents, whether the literate, illiterate, they have their own solution. And the last, when you are in deep problem, if parents are not there, God is not there, God doesn't give any solution. And the last one is a doctor. You go back to any doctor, anytime, any critical scenario, you have the answers, whether logical or whatever it is, 24/7. If I see somebody in action, it is a doctor's. So what I look at, a living God is a doctor. Number one. Number two, when I say the medical representatives, what medical rep do it? Medical rep is a facilitator which links between doctor and the patients. What is ethics? Go with the ethics and you facilitate, because he has multiple problems. A doctor, morning to evening, he has a multiple areas of, he take multiple decisions. And every time he point down his pain, it is a decision and the decision can be challenged. But look at a medical rep is a point that 2 minutes he gives, he relaxes a doctor's mind. Doctors enjoy meeting a medical representatives. He learns from every medical representatives. So look at the criticality when a facilitator meet a God, living God. So there is a sharing of knowledge and learning from each other.
Wow. Great. Prasanjit Chaudhary has a few words to say. Prasanjit had raised his hand. Sanjit, where are you? Okay, it's gone message.
He already have stated that.
Okay, Praveen sir. Yeah, Praveen sir, please. Yeah, Praveen
Yes,
sir
sir,
has
Mr.
also
Sahu,
raised.
what you mentioned is most appropriate thing, but there is a basic what is lagging today in the pharma industry, what I observed. When the person get appropriately trained, then and then only he can communicate the thing what is rightly needed to the doctor.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
missing,
Absolutely.
which is essential.
Absolutely.
And what just now I heard it from the gentleman earlier, even he got that thing more attachment because of a desire of his learning. So there are two things coming common, what is being stated by both the persons. There is a necessity for individual medical representative to have a desire to learn what is to be expressed. And there is also a need from pharma industry to train the people appropriately to communicate the thing what is necessary to communicate to the doctors.
Great.
Most important.
Okay, we'll have more discussions on this. And back to Chinmay Mitra.
Absolutely, 100% in agreement, whatever we have discussed. And that's why, see, doctors in Sanskrit, Dhanantari, a god, right? What you have said. Now, this is very, very important, communication hierarchy. I think many of us, we are aware of it, but let's once again go through it, how communication work. See, first we create awareness, bottom of the pyramid, if you see. Whenever we visit someone as a medical representative or as a friend or whatever, we introduce ourselves, we just create an awareness and that leads to knowledge. So that's create a thing. The moment we, to our target audience, communicate something, first we create awareness and then we transmit knowledge. And then the person started thinking of that. Then comes feeling, because I am not the only person communicating. There are so many other medical representatives or so many other input that person is getting as a spectators or as a target audience. So feeling, he develops some feeling, and that feeling is liking. If we develop liking of my awareness and knowledge, then liking will come. And similarly, there are so many other, communicators are there. So out of 10, he may develop liking for 5, right? And then out of these 5, then preference will come. Out of, 10, 5, he started liking. And then within those 5, he may prefer a couple of person or his style. So feeling, preference will come, right? And then conviction. Then say preference has come for 2. He selected 2. Achha, these 2 are very good because of this reason. Then the conviction part comes. And finally, then action, then conviction to action. Doing, right? So think, feel, do. That way the communication work, right? So here, if you see where is the scope for transactional marketing, that means from awareness to action. If we put transactional, communication, so awareness to action, skipping all these steps, naturally that will not everlasting. Simple, right? So if we adopt, we must acquire and develop excellent brand knowledge for pharma brand management. Excellent brand knowledge. That is very, very important. The first step, appropriate understanding of the indication, signs, symptoms for what this medicine is, right? Then communication skill, how beautifully we can communicate with limited words, because time is very important, right? And commitment to our profession. And all these top 3 we could acquire if we have this commitment to our profession. That means love, desire. Desire, here it is important, that desire, love for my profession. Again, then go back to that statement, noble profession. If we personally believe it that and practice it, this is a noble profession, definitely we'll get the result, desired result. We need not to hang for it. And if we acquire all these, then what's the benefit apart from success in selling the brand or whatever such skill? Then, as we have discussed, depression, confusion, anxiety will disappear. that relief from this Chakravyuha. Decision-making skill and self-confidence will improve, shall realize what is desire and detachment, right? Temptation and anger will under control. We cannot live without. This is all part of our life. But we should know how to initiate, how to control temptation, anger. Every day we see today, this WhatsApp, it's a temptation. So ultimately, final destination is rejoice, because we have lease of life. 𝘱𝘳𝘰𝘐𝑚𝑖𝑇𝑟𝑎 This is also a statement, 27th statement of our verse from chapter 2, right? So we have lease of life. So let us enjoy.
Chinmay, when you talk about keep anger under control, this again has been borrowed by none other than Daniel Goleman when he talks about emotional intelligence. And he puts it in a little different words, which he calls that self-regulation. What is self-regulation? It is basically controlling your emotions. Knowing when to control your emotion or how to express your emotions. So the teachings of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita has been adopted in the Western culture today to a very, very great extent. And what we see in many of these management books, whether it is 𝘱𝘳𝘊 marketing or whether it is emotional intelligence or many of the Western, so-called Western concepts, they all have their origin in the Bhagavad-Gita. That is my take, and you may correct me if I am wrong somewhere.
100%, and that is why ISKCON, the success. And who are the people behind ISKCON? All knowledgeable people, all the rich people of the world, right? That is why the birth of ISKCON.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you. So that's all. So let us enjoy our life. We have a lease of life. So let us learn Bhagavad-Gita how to enjoy and get benefit. And we believe if we enjoy our profession, every day is holiday for us.
Absolutely. Love your work and you feel you never work. Absolutely. Shazia, there are a few questions.
Please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chinmay sir. It was a wonderful presentation. And now going forward for the questions from the audience. Before the questions, there a comment from Praveen Virkut sir. Once again, it's a comment like tamas, rajas, sattva more leads in RX analysis, more as physical response, character of response, perpetual response. Was it expressed in RX audit? For this, I would really like if Praveen sir can unmute himself and discuss the point himself.
Very good, very good. I'm
Praveen,
excited.
Thank you very much. I'll just like to mention what Chinmay stated. There are three pointers. I'll just tamasa, rajasa, and things. When you look into tamas, actually, first of all, the individual has to feel how physical prescription has to be generated, for which a desire within him has to be created, which means he should be guided to know if I have to generate this prescription, what is the audience I have to tackle for. So first of all, I'll come to the pointer what Chinmay mentioned, 1, 2, 3. There is a sequencing I'm questioning whether the point 1 should be point 1 or point 2 should be first. Because unless I know the brand what I'm communicating, and unless I know the branch what I'm going to discuss with, I'll have to identify the customer first and then decide other things. It cannot be other way around. So first thing is that, so once I know the audience whom I'm going to visit, I'm very clear this is the thing I have to generate. That means physical response has to be more in that parameter. When I do that thing, I'm sure that I have to focus to the specific customer. So you said identify 5 doctor first or identify the first customer whom I have to approach. So it has to be known first who are the audience, that is a selective segment of specialty I have to go for. and accordingly select the number of doctors. Once I do that thing, then the customer being attended by the medical representative in accordance, he will not make a number of calls per se. In his number of calls also, he'll have to do vigilance that which one he has to target first, not to give a patch up of GP first, rather than going to the top end of the specialty which is necessary for the product. That is more essential to drive the physical. And that's what we say in a character of response, to identify the customer. Once you identify the customer, convert him as a prescriber. After converting him as a prescriber, work on him to more convert him as a core customer. Once you make him as a more core customer, see that core customer becomes your continuous on your panel. He's not getting shifted to your competitors. So that becomes the challenge for the medical representative to maintain. And lastly, what you mentioned, which is a perception response, which is to be what is to be communicated to the doctor. He should be very clear, and he should adhere what company is asking him to do. So the visual aid detailing has to be more prompt, more appropriate to communicate to the customer segment in appropriations. That is what I'm saying, it physical response, character response, and perception response. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, more than clear. Thanks a lot for your contribution, Praveen.
Not at all, it's pleasure.
Yeah, that's why we said to select 5 doctors, because what you have said, that environment is there. I am already covering say 100, 150 or 200 doctors. So from there, I have to select 5 doctors. So,
no, but Chinmay, when I'm saying it, if my division is a particular segment of specialty, my number doesn't matter more first.
No, why we have the purpose is saying you are 100% correct, right? So context is that to experiment, because today you see the scenario is more transactional, because see, one is that we don't respect our profession and quality of medical representative. Sorry to bring this issue here. When we started our profession in 70s, see, I know I can give a lot of example. One medical representative, Nehru, his name.
Don't quote anybody's name, Chinmay. Sorry.
No, I'm telling. No, it's a good because doctor used to call him from operation theater that this is the complication, and then Nehru used to come as physically. Then he used to guide, and if you visit his home, like consultant, lawyer. Full of those days, the internet was not there. So a lot of medical journal books he used to collect. It's a big library. So that's the kind of respect. And he was a simple medical representative, but doctor from operation theater used to call him in case of complicated case, and he used to guide. I don't know those who, if anybody is today know him, I don't know whether he is alive today or not, but that kind of respect.
I've heard about him. Long time back. And there's an excellent comment from Bhavesh, who said, excellent correlation from the Bhagavad-Gita to our profession. Thank you, Chinmay sir. Thank you, Bhavesh, for your comment. Now, there's a question for you, Bhavesh sir, Chinmay sir. How do you manage multitasking work? This comes from Rudra Sen Pasu.
What is multitasking? Could you elaborate? What do you mean by multitasking?
Yes, sir. Rudra Sen, can you please elaborate?
What is the context?
Yeah. Rudra Sen, can you come forward and just speak to Chinmay sir directly?
Yeah, Bhavesh, please.
Not Bhavesh, it is Rudra Sen. Rudra Sen.
Hello.
Rudra Sen,
hello.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. I'm Rudra Sen.
Rudra.
Yeah. So actually, the multitasking being as the first line manager, we have so many tasks in the day, sir. So how to manage the multitasking? Like all work are important, sir. So how to manage this multitasking work, and how to manage and how to execute in the proper manner?
Sequential. You see, chapter 2 said sequential analysis, right? So you have to put the priority, which one you should do first. So once you get the list, these are the multitask. Naturally, 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to set the priority. If you cannot take the decision, then you discuss with your authority, with the friends, whomever in that profession. If it is the boss, you discuss with him how to go ahead. Most of the time, you see the problem is we don't discuss. but the best thing to discuss. And I have seen, even in the family cases, in the professional cases, more you discuss whether he is my senior or junior, you will get best of it. Right?
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Ah.
Thank you. Thanks for share thoughts, sir.
There's a very interesting comment from Amit Kumar. He says, I'm prescribing your product like water in a draft, but my manager is asking me, but where are the sales? It's like a rain in the desert. I can't see the sales anywhere. Amit Kumar, can you come
please,
and
yes. What
open
is the
up?
exact problem? Yes.
Yeah. Amit Kumar, can you just come and open up? Amit Kumar,
hello.
Please unmute and speak. He has written a very nice paragraph.
Yeah. So could you elaborate in which context you are saying this? What is the...
Amit Kumar, probably there is some technical problem from his end.
Any other question? Meanwhile, we can address other questions.
So let me invite Mr. Vivek.
Yeah.
Is it Amit? Mr. Amit? Yeah, Mr. Amit. Please elaborate.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I'm just... Thank you for giving the opportunity first. This is a poem which I had written a long back for Medicine Man, and there it has been published also. This is related to the RCPA, that why we should give the importance to RCPA. As the sir is discussing that that detailing of detailed information, RCPA finished within 30 seconds. This is the problem. When I was also walking in the field, I have observed with my medical reps, and on that basis I wrote this poem on that time, and it is, I think, relevant too even.
So what the exact problem? That means doctors, medical practitioners are not giving attention or adequate time to explain, right? That is the problem.
Sir, Chinmay, if you read it, it is very, very beautifully written by Mr. Amit. Can I read it out?
Please.
Amit, can you read it out, please?
Yeah, if Amit, or otherwise I'll read it.
No, where is that? In fact, I could not.
In the chat, it's a very beautifully written. Let me read it out without wasting further time.
Yeah.
It starts with, I am prescribing your product like water in drought. My manager is asking me why your sales is like rain in Atacama Desert. Doctor is convincing me I am prescribing your product like water in drought. Do my prescriptions evaporate as first drop of rain? So at the start, he's making a sarcastic take on the things. So he's taking a very good take on these things. Do my regular visits to the doctor go in vain? You can get answer by doing retail chemist prescription audit, which tells you about your brand's prescription movement. It helps you understand the prescription habit of targeted doctor, in what quantity and which are the brands he is good prescriber. It guides you to select right product for those doctors by making you aware in which indication and class of patients, which brand does that doctor prefer. They inform you about your competitors' approaches, their prices, schemes, along with their new launches. By keeping them aware about own product scheme of promotion, take inquiry from them with a smile by asking open-end questions. Regular visit to chemists can be helpful in brands. They honor your prescription like diamond lying even on grass as droplet of dew. So written by Mr. Amit. So it's wonderful. He has taken a different take on it, given a poetic touch to the things that happens, and he prescribes that prescription audit. Thank you, Mr. Amit.
We have to revive the forgotten art of RCPA. That is the basic in the pharma industry. Unless we have that RCPA, what Amit Kumar said is bound to happen. Take your boss to the doctor today. Managers, they spend hardly any time in the field with the retailers. They are only after the KOLs. But with retailers, they don't do justice. My suggestion is, you should spend adequate time with the retailers at a time convenient to them, not a time which is convenient to me. Vivek Sharma has raised his hand. So Vivek, can you please ask your question?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, first of all, it's a very, very good topic. Thank you for sharing this. And it's my interested topic also. Only thing I also want that Gita also give a perspective of CFT, that not only sales rep who is the Abhimanyu in the war, but who are the other people who are useful for him to fight that war. So when Abhimanyu was alone, he was killed. But where was Arjun? He was not there. So like Arjun was like a strategy manager, or where was Krishna? Where was
got a point.
So what happened? I also tried to develop one model that when Arjun entered the war, there was Karna, but against Karna, who was the person who can fight Karna? He was Arjun, but he was not there. Now, second, if you see, there was Duryodhan, but him was not there. So the contemporary or the right CFT person was not mapped against the customer mapping. So the customers were Duryodhan, Karna, Shalya, or maybe Bhishma Pitama. But on the other side, Abhimanyu does not have that CFT. They were all traveling outside the Chakravyuh.
Wonderful, Vivek. What a...
Very nice.
So I feel in the key account management, I have discussed this, but I just want to ask, Chinmay sir and Vivek sir, how we can develop it more. I have just started sharing this and my people are getting benefit out of that. And
It's very, very important. You cannot have remote control managers today. You have to be in the trenches every day. Unless you are in the trenches, you can never win the battle. Very nice point. Vinit Kumar, yes, please. Vinit Kumar has raised his hand.
Yeah,
yes,
am I audible, sir? Yeah, am I
are.
audible, sir? Thank you very much for giving this time. And this is one of the 5,000-year old book, and yet has a relevant in today's time. And in all dimensions, not only in the pharma and all other sector of management where people are able to meet with other people. I would like to draw attention about the novel profession, sir. Most of the time we see that doctors have intention to earn money from patients. They have you can say a relationship with pharma companies and the diagnostic companies as well. So people perception has changed in terms of the looking doctors as a noble profession. But sir, I have a very valid viewpoint for there that the pharma people or even the pharma doctors have the noble profession, because we are not selling some product of something like tobacco, which is taking 18% or 20% GST, and it has 70% contribution that it can cause cancer. So we are not selling that harmful products. We are selling the products which are very beneficial. Sir, I have started my career with Torrent Pharmaceutical. There I was selling generic products with, even I was having USP, something very special, like my product is having mango flavor. So I used to have the happiness of selling my product as a mango flavor product, which does not cause any toxicity to the patient. I have grown from Torrent Pharmaceutical. I have promoted Januvia, Janumet to the pharmaceutical industry for approximately 6 years. And there my pride was that my product does not cause hypoglycemia to the patient. So I am able to save some of the patients who might get hypoglycemic events in the treatment of diabetes. Today I'm working with senior product manager capacity, handling the dermatology products. So today I'm looking forward for some different perspective that how I can help the patient. So definitely that's in this last 15 years of journey, sir, I have started from a basic medical representative designation to this level, but I have never seen that this profession has changed. The only thing has changed is the post-pharma COVID, people have started putting the resources, or you can say, so they are very eager to get the early results. So that is why this transactional marketing has started happening very fast. Post-COVID, the doctors, even the pharma companies are not having the time. They are just investing and wanted to get it out. So this is what my take on, but definitely this session will definitely give us a new dimension where we need to look upon, we need to look upon the sustainability of the business. We need to look on the sustainability of the prescription. We need to also look on the sustainability on the patient side. So obviously, sir, as you have said, the HPH marketing and patient-centric marketing is one which is going to drive the pharmaceutical industry.
And I don't have any doubt on that. It is 110% sure that patient-centric marketing activities will drive the brands, and those brand managers and those the companies who will build the bigger brand which are having the patient in the center. So this is from my side, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinit Kumar. And I think we are crossed the time limit. It's 5 minutes past 12. If there are any more questions, you can please raise your hand. And in the next 5 minutes, we'll close the session.
I would like everyone who has some questions, please raise your hand. Vinit Kumar has raised his hand for the question. Till that time, I have some another questions as well for both of our speakers. Shall I?
Yes. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Just a second, Vivek sir and Shazia. Datta sir has raised his hand. Let him speak for a moment. Datta sir, please unmute. Yeah. Datta sir, please unmute. I think his network error is maybe there. So can we take up more questions, Shazia?
Yeah, I think there is a question from Rohit Mamgen. So Rohit, introduce yourself and then ask the question.
Mamgen, I'm from Dehradun and I work with IQVIA as a senior research officer.
I'm unmuted now. Can I ask?
Rohit, please give us some time. Let us interact with Datta sir, and then we will pick up your question.
Okay.
I think today has been a very interesting talk. My thanks to both Hattangadi sir and Chinmay ji. He is my dear friend. Both of them are my dearest friends. You see, the basic purpose which I am saying is that one of the gentlemen has put that question also about the nobility, about the ethics, about the values. Actually, these things, why we see in others, we have to inculcate these things ourselves. I think the emphasis today was on ethical promotion, ethical marketing. Why we should look for a doctor to be noble enough? Let doctor write many brands.
Shazia, can you put the rest on the mute, please?
Let doctor write many brands of the same molecule. Doesn't make difference. It doesn't make difference at all. But what medical representative is looking forward to, he is not looking forward to prescription and credibility. He is looking forward to business. I think there is something. Bhagavad-Gita does not talk about business. Bhagavad-Gita talks about building credibility, building, as you had said, that I basically say, if a person does not have curiosity, he should not be in marketing at all. So I think this is my little input. I thought I may interact because I was attending the session. Session was very good.
No, thank you, Datta sir.
100%.
Thank you, Datta sir. Mr. Rohit, you can go on, please.
Rohit, you are on mute.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation today. I'm a regular reader of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, and I can totally relate. And I'm working with IQVIA for past 8 years. What we do, we monitor entire pharma industry. So we give assessment regarding brand-wise analysis, category segment-wise analysis, and company-wise analysis. So my question, as there are some seniors, Vivek sir is there and other seniors are here. So I want to ask a question over here, like what are the trend into the pharma industry nowadays regarding the strategy making? Why I'm asking this question, I'm doing strategy management from IIM Bangalore. So I want to know what's the trend within the organization related to strategy, especially corporate strategies.
To me, more than strategy, it is the strategy execution which is more important. Strategy can be borrowed from any consultant like me. But more important than the strategy, crafting a strategy, more important is the strategy execution. I have a little different take here. My suggestion always has been that when the brand manager forms a strategy or the corporate, they form a strategy, they should always involve the people in the sales. Because after all, it is the sales people who execute the strategy. And unless the sales personnel are not a part of the strategy crafting, strategy execution will continue to remain poor. So as far as the trend which is concerned, well, today, unfortunately, most of the strategists, they are generic. Most of the strategies, they are generic. Sometimes I find that people even do not know what is a strategy or what is a tactic. Tactic is often confused for strategy and strategy confused for tactics. We need to work right from the basics. This is my take on your question.
Thank you, Vivek sir. And let us take three more people have raised their hands, sir. So let us quickly interact with them. Welcoming Mr. 𝑚𝑉 to interact.
Yeah, Satyaprasad, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Satyaprasad, sir, from Vijayawada. Actually, it's really great session, sir. I'm very much thankful to Chinmay Mitra, sir, and Vivek, sir. Sir, actually, I'm having a 25 years in pharma marketing, sir, experience. Just based on that, I'm giving one practical issue what the people right now, the medical representative are facing, sir. In most of this rural areas and even in cities also, sir. Unfortunately, the RCPA, the concept of RCPA is not encouraging, sir, as the doctor himself is having he himself is a chemist, because most of the doctors are having attached counters. So in that counter, the professional pharmacist will not sit, and just like that, just we have to go and discuss with the doctor. As you rightly said, what are all the basics of our medical representative profession? We have to go through that, and definitely, and doctor himself is a chemist, sir, nowadays. That's what I want to tell, because
I agree with you.
Almost because when I started my journey with Sun Pharma, sir, in neuropsychiatric division in '97, during that time, sir, though I started with a specialty division like neuropsychiatry, when I am working in the locations like Rajahmundry, Tanuku, and these rural locations, even physicians, even leading GPs, they are also writing some psychiatric brands like lorazepam, this clonazepam, and this alprazolam, and like these products, sir. We used to get that information through the pharmacists only, sir, outside pharmacists. When we are doing RCPA, going there and taking information from the retail chemist, we used to get good information. No, you go to that doctor, he's writing Trapex, he's writing that Prajep, these kind of brands. They used to write. Normally, as being a neuropsychiatric division, just we used to go to the visit this psychiatrist and neurologist only. Apart
Thank
from
you,
that,
Satyaprasad. Your point is very well taken.
Yeah.
Priyadarshan Soni has raised his hand. Yes, Priyadarshan Soni.
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Chinmay, also, I have heard you many times in my CMARC meeting around 15 years back in Zydus and in Kerala. So I hope, I don't know whether you recollect me or not. But this pertains to the question which the person was asking around corporate strategy. I have a take on this after my experience at 5 different companies, including an MNC and including private Indian companies. Corporate strategy is almost absent. I would like to say that, or I would like to say it's very, very in the non-matured stage. Second, there are a few companies who have tried to go above the brand strategies and tried to adopt a therapy strategy so they have adopted like USP or like 𝘱𝘬𝘭𝘪 or like MacLeod's, who have made their names in different therapy areas. And it's because of the strategy, initiative, and the overall outlook that they took for that. But corporate strategy have been definitely in a holistic way missing. But when it comes to MNCs like Abbott, or probably I would like to Cipla, where a corporate strategy would be much better adopted, there the brands do not rise so high. So I feel in pharma industry, if you take a corporate strategy stance, you lose out on the brand strategy stance. If you take a brand strategy stance, you lose out on the other stance. And this is what probably has been seen. And there are only one or two companies which you can quote where they have been successful in all this type of strategies. So as far as strategic aspect you are talking about is concerned, people always at brand level, brand management level, they often confuse in what positioning is. They think positioning is strategy. They think the tactic is strategy. They think campaign is strategy. But it's very difficult for people to make them understand and convince them. Absolutely. It becomes, sometimes I would like to quote, it becomes bhais ke aage Bhagavad. So that's the, and we probably in my later years, I have stopped talking about strategy as a whole, but try to implement whatever therapy initiatives we can take and make it a little broader. Corporate strategy can be in if there is a collaborative approach.
Thank you, Priyatishan. Thank you. Very beautiful statement. And Mr. Mohammad Baharuddin from Bangladesh has raised his hand. Yes, Mohammad Baharuddin.
Vivek sir, before him, I think Mr. Karthik raised hand. So,
okay, Karthik. First Karthik and then Mohammad Baharuddin.
Yeah.
Okay. And that will be the last, okay? After Mohammad Baharuddin.
Sure, sir. So, Mr. Karthik Naidu, if you can unmute.
First, introduce yourself, Karthik.
Very good morning, Vivek sir. Very good morning, Swati ma'am and Chinmay sir, for giving such an insight on Bhagavad-Gita. Myself, Karthik Naidu from Topic Labs. I have a question regarding this micromanagement and the macro management. That most of the time nowadays, what I observe is when we work upon a brand as an industry, nowadays we are looking into more into micro level, like for a certain particular set of specialty oriented customers or a particular set of doctors or brands, we look into micro. And at the same time, there are another set of level of management which is called as macro, and they look into the bigger picture, that covering a vast set of doctors and vast set of customers and vast set of patients. So which is more balanced, or which is like more as a product management team, which will be the more beneficial part to a brand like which is already a built up brand?
Chinmay, can you take or should I respond?
Please, you take.
I think focused approach is always better. A focused approach is always better.
I hope it answers, Karthik. After that, I would like Mohammeduddin.
Yeah, Mr. Mohammad Baharuddin, please. And this is the last question of the day.
Oh,
otherwise,
but Shazia, he has a question. So we cannot skip that. After that, we'll listen to her.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Mohammad Baharuddin.
Yeah.
Mr. Ruddin, can you please unmute yourself and interact with the speakers?
I think there must be some network.
Shazia, you can.
Can you hear us, Mohammad Baharuddin?
I
think he is not able to unmute Vixen.
Okay.
So let us listen to Shazia. She has some question, so we stopped her.
Okay, Chinmay sir, thank you so much. It was a wonderful talk and comment with lots of comments. Actually, this question is for you, Chinmay sir. You mentioned about commitment to work is important. The desired result is secondary. So does this mean that targets and achieving targets aren't important?
No, we have already mentioned that is definitely important. See, unless we fix the target, then how can we move? we must have the direction, not what's that direction. But see, for example, let me give a non-pharma example. See, I have to reach a destination. Say I have to catch a flight, or you see, from Dadar, I have to every day, I have to go to my office at Churchgate, right? I think you are familiar with Dadar and Churchgate.
Yeah, I am.
So Dadar, I used to catch super fast train at 8 o'clock, and I reach office by 10 minutes before to 9, which is 5 minutes walk from Churchgate, right? So that's my daily routine. So I have control to, so my, task is to at Dadar station before 8 o'clock. And that I am doing. But one fine morning, there is an announcement that superfast train today is out of order, whatever may be the reason, it's not coming. And every 2 minutes, in Mumbai, the trains are there. So another train came at 8:02, but that's a all station stop train. So I arrived at 9 o'clock. So naturally, I'm 10 minutes late, right? So in these incidents, and if you compare that, I have control over my work, right? So desired result is, destination is to reach my office every day before 9. And I'm doing that. But one fine morning, this has not happened. So that's the message. Karmanne vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. That means I have control over what I can do. Because there are so many other factors. Similarly, if you put this, there are so many medical representatives visiting the doctor, medical doctor. Even say for paracetamol brand, a simple brand I'm giving example, Calpol, Procin. Then today you have the #1 prescribed brand is Dolo 650, right? Previously it was 500. Now today doctors, most of the doctors see the brand promotion. The concept has shifted from 500 to 650, right? And who is responsible? Dolo. Now, as far as the other way, if you go to non-prescription brand, over the counter, people like us, if we go, we ask for Procin or Calpol. And even if you say, most of the people don't know paracetamol, they said, bukhar ka kuch dawa dijiye, high temperature hai, so chemist will give you Procin or Calpol. Or maybe if there is any more margin in certain other, generic brand, they will provide it, right? So now how Dolo prescription has become #1 when there is such a competition, right? So because of their promotion. And I have seen their promotion. They have demonstrated how they promote. So they focused to their work. They never said, I'm better than, Calpol, Procin on any brand, where there are hundreds of brands in paracetamol, a simple market. And today, in fact, one medical representative told me once that, sir, my company introduced, so I went and doctors started beating me. What nonsense you are talking? Huh? You have launched paracetamol and you are coming and talking to me. So that depends on how you communicate.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How you, so that's why you dramatize fever. Why patient go to a doctor's chamber? Two things, fever and pain. When it is uncontrollable, then only the patient, a person become patient. Disease, that means I am not ease, so I am going to a doctor to get relief. And most of the cases, it is because of high temperature and pain. This is the basic reason. And then further investigation, you will find what are the different type of complications, right? Now it is clear.
Thank you, Chinmay sir.
Thank you so much, Chinmay sir. Also, one more. You said a little while ago that anger should be under control, but most of the sales review meeting are shouting matches where managers shout.
No, then you have to. That's why you have to read Bhagavad-Gita. In fact, my home also, those who have spouse and those who are married, that's why it's a chakra bho. Aapta na Hindi mein. Dilli ka laddu jo bhi khaya, wo bhi pasta hai, jo nahi khaya, wo bhi pasta hai. So married people, they know this. So best thing is silence. That also comes from Bhagavad-Gita. So if you read Bhagavad-Gita, then only you will develop that quality. See, and that's why there is so many statements. See, communication, we talk about communication. The chapter 17, if I recall correctly, verse number 14. Anudvegam karang bhakta shottang piya hitanchayat. What a beautiful statement. If I explain, it will take another 5 minutes, right? So, Hindi film में एक dialogue था, tension लेने का नहीं देने का है. But Bhagavad-Gita said just the opposite. किसी को tension देना ही नहीं. Anudbeg, that means tension. Don't give tension to anybody. You see, home spouse is always giving tension. अरे लड़का नहीं आया, क्या है, तुम सो रहे हो. So,
I refute this.
That will happen. Pause. I am using the word pause. I am not. I mean, pause. You know the meaning of pause.
Yeah.
So that way, I am very neutral, right? So control your anger. That's the thing. See, our other person. So that's what I'm saying. So become cool. Don't react. Listen to it. And I have seen this to my son. Really, I'm lucky. He is getting so much shouting, but he is keeping his cool. I have never seen that he, react. So, and that's why in Bhagavad-Gita, see, that's why I request everyone, please read A to Z. You will realize that. Who is most favorite to me? Sri Krishna said in Arjun, by directing Arjun to universe, Jnani, 4 type of people, come to me. One is for getting something, those who are in trouble, and those who are interested to know. And another 4th one is knowledgeable people to further enrich their knowledge. And out of these 4, those having knowledge, the Jnani, they are most favorite person to me. That is in chapter 7, slok number 14 or 15. But see, that's the statement. And never, you see, that's why this Bhagavad-Gita is 100% secular. If you see each and every statement, there is a lot of segmentation on the basis of karma. So whether you are born in England or in Dubai or Bangladesh or India, there is no segmentation by birth, segmentation by work, right? So that's the beauty. And that's why this is universal management book.
Thank you so much, Chinmay Mitra, sir. It's wonderful.
And my request right now, there are how many we have? More than 100?
Currently, sir, it's around 94. We had
so
reached
everybody, I'll request, see taste of the pudding in its sitting. So please read Bhagavad Gita. You will get meaning out of it. Depending
They should adopt it also.
Huh?
Not to read only, but adopt also.
Absolutely. Meaning, understanding the meaning. And this, how I have adopted. I am reading, my father used to read, but this lockdown gave me an opportunity to realize the meaning. Because prior to that, I was reading only without understanding the meaning and going into that depth. So it's great. Ocean. So you can say I've just entered into that, put the foot in the bank. Right? And
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sir. I really see the vibrant energy roaming around the webinar till now. And with that, the session comes to an end. There's a feedback form. I request everyone to fill that up. And thank you, Chinmay sir, for taking out your precious time on a busy Sunday schedule. And also on the behalf of PharmaState Academy team, I sincerely thank and acknowledge each and every one of you for being a part of our journey to learning and growing. As one of the great inventors quoted, anyone who stops learning is old. Anyone who keeps learning stays young, whether at 80 or 20. So keep learning with PharmaState Academy. And thank you again for joining, and we'll see you in the coming webinars. That's all.
Thank you, Shazia. Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Chinmay da, and thank you, dear participants, the valuable network that we have. You gave us this opportunity. And this time, Shazia moderated it very well. So let's cheer her up. Thank you, Shazia, for moderating this.
You so much.
And we look forward to more moderations from you on PharmaState Academy. And towards the end, let me thank and say sorry also to people whose questions we couldn't take due to paucity of time. Thank you for contributing, Mr. Sumitra, Mr. Amit, Mr. Rudra Sen, Mr. Shashwati Banerjee, Divya Thakur, Amitava Bose, Ujjwal Datta sir, and Mrinalini Jan. She made a very rightful comment at last, which I would like to read before we end the session. People development is the secret for any strategy or campaign to get successfully executed. As we are on the topic of Bhagavad-Gita, the characters wouldn't be discussed even after so many years had they not been skillful and talented with attributes that have made them famous or infamous for that matter. Thorough training and development honed their skills for the greatest battle and management guide the world has ever seen. Thank you, Ms. Mrinalini Jain, for this wonderful comment that you made. And we look forward to the trainings, learning and development programs which corporates are asking. We are creating the same at PharmaState Academy. That is all from our side. Vivek sir, your closing comments, because you are the chief bidder.
My God, it was a wonderful session and it was very, very, very participative. And we have bowed down to all the participants who said we need more time for question and answers. I think more than 50% of the time today was addressing the questions and allowing a lot of interactions and discussions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, all the seniors who joined us also. Thank you, colleagues. And thank you, that was especially joined us on a busy day. Thank you, Sunil Atava sir. Thank you, all the dignitaries who attended the session. The session would be available as the recording also, and we shall be sending the link. Same. The next session, do not miss it. Again, this is a series that we have brought from you on digital tech in pharma. 12 sessions, 2 have been done already on microsite and QR code. And the next is coming up on SEO for digital tech in pharma. So stay connected with us. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
So we are ending the session now. Bye everyone. Have a great day.